You'll float too. You'll float too. It has been a long time coming. For relatively recent cinema releases, and where better place to start with than the one I was looking forward to the most, the new It. I have to say that I absolutely loved it. I thought that it was adapted really well. I'd never read the book, but based on what the original film took from the book and then what was then carried across to the new remake, I thought worked fantastically. It retained just the right amount of imagery for those of us who like the original adaptation to be familiar, but without feeling like a copycat film. Obviously with the original miniseries, it spanned across 2 sets of 27 years, as it were, but this one, the child actors were phenomenal. I cannot believe how amazing they were. And it wasn't scary from start to finish, but I think it got progressively scarier. There were a few bits that were terrifying for me, and I don't really get scared at horrors, but there were 2 bits that really got me. One was the scene with the projector. I won't spoil it by detailing it. And also the scene with the hair in the plug hole. I have a bit of a fear of wet hair, non-attached wet hair, and that kind of really irked me a lot and made me a little bit ugh. The film was very trippy a lot of the time, and what I particularly liked about it is that it can be analysed a lot. Now I don't know if this is the case with the book because I haven't read it. I'm very hit or miss with Stephen King, by which I mean I don't like his writing style, but I like his stories. But I feel like Pennywise could be represented as an anxiety of each of the individual children. Each child had their own fear or their own history that made them slightly on edge. For example, the missing brother or the fatherly abuse, all of those could then manifest as Pennywise. I think it gives it a deeper level, which I love. Obviously, the new Pennywise looks amazing. Tim Curry's Pennywise will always be iconic, but Skarsgård's Pennywise is phenomenal and so much scarier. Sound effects was amazing, the music was incredible, the acting was phenomenal, the rate of fear was fantastic. Pennywise is amazing. I have nothing negative to say about this film. You'll float too. So one that is exceptionally controversial just now is Death Note. I loved it. I loved Death Note. Now I should point out straight away, I knew nothing of the source material. I have not seen the anime, I have not read the manga, but just judging the live action on its own, amazing. The concept of being able to write down somebody's name and how they die in a book and then for having it happen is like power that so many people would dream of, but for me, I couldn't handle that responsibility, you know? Like, oh, Hitler self-combusts, you know, that's about as much as I could do. I don't think I'd have the stamina to do that, but watching it is amazing. I personally enjoyed the narrative progression. I didn't think it was scary, but it made me think so much from start to finish that I think it tapped into a lot. Really likeable characters, really strong protagonist. Personally, I have no complaints. I think most of the negative things that have been said about it is that it's not as good as the anime. And I think if you have a preference for that, then you're going to see negative things with this. But if, like me, you had no idea what it was about and you'd never heard of the anime or the manga before, I loved it. Annabelle Creation was one that I was very much looking forward to. Now, I'm not going to say that it was a bad film. It was really good, but I think I had such high expectations for this film that it just didn't live up to that because it didn't scare me. The narrative was okay, but Annabelle was hardly in it. And when Annabelle was in it, it wasn't particularly terrifying, which is a shame. Not that the first Annabelle film was that scary either, but I kind of feel like with sequels or prequels, it's your chance to up the game and say, look, you've had the first film, but now we're going to make you even more scared. And it just didn't do that. So I wasn't really let down as such, because I did enjoy it, but it definitely was not scary enough. I don't know where to begin with the Emoji Movie. I guess I will begin by saying it's not a good film, but I have seen worse. There were 1 or 2 bits in it that I liked, and this may be spoiling it, but I don't really think you can spoil a film that isn't very good. The Candy Crush bit I thought was kind of clever, and the bit where they showed the tickling Grey Kitty video, I like that. And in that sense, these are all things that we can all relate to, so it kind of unites us. And I also did feel like there were times when it was poking fun at our culture and the fact that we rely on our phones so much. It did kind of get at that. But there wasn't really much of a narrative. Yes, there's this emoji who doesn't have emotions and he goes on this journey. Maybe I'm not the right age, but I didn't really feel any connection with him. And I just think it's all about money. Think of all the merchandise that they have. But the thing is, emojis were doing merchandise before the film. It's just now that the production team can now get the money from that as well. And it's just a giant cash cow. And I hope they do not make a second one. For the most part, that's a delightful batch of films. It has got to be the best of them all. I'm particularly looking forward to seeing Eat Locals, which is out now, and I need to catch it before it disappears from the cinema, and also the Limehouse Golem. I'm not sure where that's screening near me, but I love Bill Nighy, and it sounds amazing. Also, we have Murder on the Orient Express coming up very soon. I'm very excited about that. But at the moment, I will bask in the joy that is it. If you've seen any of these films, let me know what you thought of them. And of course, which films are you most looking forward to that are coming out at the end of this year? It's hard to believe we're 3/4 of the way through 2017 already. It's been an amazing year for cinema. Let's hope we go out on a high. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.